Behnam joining us. He's a senior analyst at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracy. So, Behnam, is Iran enriching uranium to try and improve its position at the negotiating table, or is this just a real threat?
Well, great to be back with you. Even if the Islamic Republic is doing it in the short term to get some leverage against the potentially incoming Biden administration, which is looking to resume nuclear diplomacy with Iran or to try to get the JCPOA nuclear deal back. That was the 2015 nuclear deal. It ultimately will give them more capability to move towards a weapons option if they decide to do that. Now, we know in the past, Iran has amassed near 20% enriched uranium, not necessarily as a bargaining chip, but as something they could use to threaten other countries. And they didn't mind in the past when the Europeans and the Americans came together in 2010 to 2012 to try to issue sanctions to get Iran to stop this kind of enrichment. So it's going to be a tough ride ahead for the next few months as Europe and America try to develop a more cohesive policy to offset this kind of nuclear escalation.
Now, Trump chose the maximum pressure strategy against Iran throughout his presidency, but the Islamic Republic seems to be moving full steam towards building a nuclear weapon. Was Trump's approach a mistake?
Well, I don't see it moving full steam. You know, the history of Iran, and in particular the Islamic Republic, is that it's got one of the oldest nuclear programs in the Middle East, but still no bomb. You know, they're not looking to make a dash like North Korea or Pakistan. They're looking to get there as safely as possible. And what the regime has showed is that it's willing to bide its time, sign interim deals, more comprehensive deals, all in a bid to get more money and safely move towards that ultimate weapons option. And if that means, trying to outlast the Trump administration, as they've been trying to do now through illicit procurement and sanctions busting, they will do that. And if they have to engage in, again, in limited nuclear diplomacy with a Biden administration to get some more money up front and begin to rebuild the nuclear program in 5, 10, 15 years' time, they may also do that. They often play the long game here.
Well, since it became clear that Joe Biden will be the next U.S. president, we've heard a lot about plans to renegotiate a new nuclear deal. Is that even possible at this point? And if so, what could the new president expect to get from the Iranians?
Well, it's kind of like you said at the beginning of the package, because this is the most important Iranian overt violation of the JCPOA to date. And we know they've had a policy of formally and overtly violating this deal since May 2019, including in the past they had violations of the letter and spirit of the agreement as well that we're not counting. But since then, this is the most important one, which means that the JCPOA is dead in all but name. It wasn't supposed to exist if the two most important components, which is American sanctions relief and Iranian nuclear concessions, did not exist at the same time. And we've had the inverse. So in many ways, if the Biden administration just wants to claw back this deal, I think it's going to be a futile attempt. I think the best course ahead for them is to try to build off of the more successful economic pressure campaign of the current administration and develop a broader international coalition to zoom in on some targets and some real key posts of what can and can't Iran have when it comes to a nuclear program.
So how will the Europeans respond to Iran's latest move to enrich uranium, which, like we said, is a clear violation of the JCPOA that they're still signed on to?
This is an important question because Europe has in many ways been willing to turn a blind eye to Iran's year and a half long series of violations with the ultimate belief that Iran would never go to 20% like it did before. This is a real daring move. Make no mistake. It's not just about playing a little bit of chicken or graduated escalation here. So Europe may want to embrace a more tougher posture, especially at things like the dispute resolution mechanism or joint commission. And these are bodies and entities created by the deal to address exactly these kind of things like violations. Let's hope that Europe takes these things to the Security Council. Let's hope that Europe can restrain an incoming Biden administration from giving premature concessions and dealing with the full scale and scope of Iran's violations. But again, time will tell whether the technical minds prevail here or the political winds prevail, and we just resurrect a fatally flawed agreement.
All right, Behnam, thank you so much for joining us and breaking that